I think folks go eventually come home, folks. On Steve, I really do, folks. But I just really think, like, because of who he is, bro, and how long I feel like they've been targeting him. Now that they finally got roles, I just feel like they gonna make it so hard. Because, like, bro, Cam, like, it's no secret. Everybody in the city of Chicago know D-Rose innocent. That ain't just no shit you hear his homie saying or us saying because we just say that, bro. Like, that ain't his work. Like, it's really not, bro. And when he get 40 years for that shit, bro, like, it'll make you lose hope even then, folks, because it's like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, it's like, forget, D-Rose beat a case like 3-4 months. He beat an attempt murder before he caught that murder. Like, imagine you said, I said 18 months for some shit that, hey, maybe I did, maybe I didn't do it. I'm booked for it and I beat it. Then I come home, I'm doing my thing. These gonna slap some on me I ain't never did. I'm in my mind, I'm in that like, man, I just spanked some shit I probably did do.
Show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Alright, y'all, being that the talks about Chicago's own 600 D-Rose have been coming up, I figured we'll react to his story to shed some light on his situation, which happens to be a very crazy situation, might I add, because he was given a 40-year sentence in 2015, and the word on the street is the crime that he's being accused of, he didn't even do. However, as y'all know, the no-telling rule has him with his mouth shut, because although many have failed to adhere to the unwritten rule of the streets, D-Rose decided to stick to it. And it's sad because it's also just a quick reminder how quick the streets can chew you up and spit you out, and also those same people you call friends will watch you rot in prison knowing that you don't even belong there. Now, since he's been in there, it's been claimed that he's reached out to certain people who we know got the money, but some have turned their backs. Not saying everybody, but those who have enough leverage to do something about his situation, knowing it's a possibility that he's an innocent man, they haven't. At least, not hard enough.
Listen, I can't be with people who just like, boy, you say you want to burn and all that, you supposed to be with me in some type of way. I ain't talked to you in years. Certain people I ain't talked to in years. I never ever talked to rappers. How you don't talk to me with your hood? This is me.
D-Rose has been arrested since 2014, convicted in 2015, sentenced in 2016, and this year, 2026, makes it 10 years since he's been incarcerated. To us, the time is flying, but to him, it may feel like it ain't flying enough. But what kind of hope do you got to look forward to when you think about it and realize that you literally have 30 more years to do? So recently it's come out that some are now saying that D-Rose have been allegedly doing drugs while he's in there, and his recent mugshot have went viral and showing that he does appear to look a bit different. Then, to make matters worse, his ex-girlfriend would claim that he has been smoking all of his lawyer money up while he's been incarcerated.
We met when we was like 14, 15 years old, right? And it's so much transpired that I opted out of speaking on, that a lot of people opted out of speaking on. But my personal information is not leaked, but given out. That's a breach of the compound. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty no longer lies here. So what am I being quiet about? Right? So let's play ball. I don't got Ben no more. And the reason I don't him is because he's a junkie. He's a smoker. I'm sure y'all done seen them videos on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, social media in general of people smoking in jail and looking like tweaking out. Looking stupid in general of people smoking in jail and looking like tweak. That's what he be doing. All the fans and people wondering why he ain't had no lawyer, why he ain't got no support, why he has no representation, because he smoked it all. He smoked it all. The lawyer that he only wants $7,500 to retain him. So y'all think that out of all these people that say his name in raps, that post him, even if all of them sent $100, he been in jail, what, 8 years? 9 years? 8 years. Yeah, he been in jail 8 years because he fought the first 2 years in the county. He was convicted after that. And he spent 2 years fighting, and then he was convicted. So I'm gonna spend all these years. You don't think even if I sent him $100, he would have the money to retain his lawyer? He don't have that because he smoked it. He smoked it all.
However, what do you expect from a man who was wrongfully accused and had to sit in jail knowing that his life is pretty much over for something that he didn't do? I'm not saying he was a saint, but nobody is. But if I'm gonna receive consequences, I'd rather it be from something I actually did, then I'll be able to deal with it. But until you know the feeling of being stripped from your family, friends, and freedom as a whole, you can't judge. He went in as a kid, and many guys in there indulge in certain things to keep themselves from going crazy, so maybe that's just his choice of coping. It is what it is. But for y'all that aren't familiar with his story, we're gonna get into it so you can understand why a guy that been around the likes of King Von, Mimo 600, Chief Keef, Tay 600, C-Day, Fredo Santana, Little Reese, Rondo number 9, just anybody you could think that's somebody within the drill culture, but yet the world barely know who he is. And as I always say, we could definitely learn a lesson from this situation right here, because D-Rose is going through something that a lot of people go through no matter where you're at in the world. Where a lot of times, guys do a lot of things in the streets and never get caught for it, but that one thing that they may or may have not done, they do get caught for it. And a lot of people feel that that may be their karma. Some agree with it, some don't. But at the end of the day, sometimes that's the hands that's dealt to you. It seems like D-Rose's reputation exceeded him, and he paid the ultimate price at the end. So we're going to get into it first and foremost. Shout out to Hip Hop Daily. I'll leave a link to the original video in the comments so you guys can go check it out. But in the meantime, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hype the video so we can get into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
Fans of Chicago drill will know the name D-Rose from Chief Keef songs like Love Sosa and John Madden. But true fans will know that this D-Rose doesn't play basketball, but was instead a respected member of the Black Disciples. Let's take a closer look at the story of D-Rose, the most respected Chicago shooter. Abir Sardine, better known as D-Rose, was a member of the Black Disciples who rose the ranks to become one of the most feared and respected gang members in all of Chicago. D-Rose was a member of Team 600, a set of the BDs allied with O-Block that also featured famous rappers like L.A. Capone, Rondo number 9, and E-Day 600.
Yo, keep in mind, right? When you hear this story, because we were young growing up in the drill culture. So when we heard these stories about these guys, it didn't hit like it does now because we were all the same age. But at the end of the day, now getting older and understanding that these guys was every bit of 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, toting big guns, right? Rapping what they rapping about, actually catching bodies and doing what they rapping about. Now looking back at it, it's like crazy. Before, it was just entertaining, of course, because we didn't know anything about Chicago. We didn't know anything about the drill and these guys with guns. So for us to see that, these kids, the same age as us, with weapons, it was fascinating. But like I said, getting older now and watching and looking back, it's actually crazy, man.
But D-Rose was known all over the city and was known to rock with a bunch of different sets across different gangs. D-Rose didn't start out as BD. He was originally from the Motown neighborhood, which is an area controlled by the Black Peace Stones. His father was a respected member, and early on, D-Rose was affiliated with the Folly Boys. But his father was allegedly killed in 2009, and not long after that, D-Rose would start hanging out with the BDs. Eventually, he moved down to the area around 51st and May Street, the territory claimed by 600. Around that time, he would start repping the set and switch gangs to become a BD. But D-Rose was so well respected that he maintained close ties with multiple BD sets, including THF, TYMB, Lamron, Front Street, and O-Block. This is part of what made him so respected in the city of Chicago, because his gang ties ran deep. He was also known for being a dude who really put in work in the streets and grew his reputation across the city. He was cool with not only BDs, but Stones and Mickey Cobras as well. Even when certain cliques that he was cool with would get into a beef, D-Rose would fall back and not pick sides. Plus, he was so well loved in the South Side that no one would force him to get involved. He was a crucial link between a lot of these different BD sets, and all the prominent members of each gang were cool with him. D-Rose is rumored to be one of the first of the younger members of 600 to jump off the porch and make moves in the street.
Now, keep in mind, right? Y'all see how they say he went from the Folly Boys to over there with 600. And this is why a lot of these, and I'm not talking about him when I say the backdoor situations, but this is why a lot of these guys either get backdoored or they know they're ops. Because once upon a time, they were actually cool with these same guys that they call ops. Whether they went to school with each other, whether they family know each other, They went to church, something, played basketball. They were once cool once upon a time. And then it got to a point to where these guys literally go to the furthest extent to take each other's lives, and they know each other. Now you got some of them who are actually related as well, which is crazy. But even they go to the extent of trying to take their cousins' lives. You even got Little Zay Osama saying, F my cousin. He made a whole song about it, right? But then you do have guys such as D-Rose, who instead of making beef, he stay out of it. So yeah, he know the ops, and he got their respect as well. But he don't get in the middle of their beef along with the people he's affiliated with. He just stay out of it.
He was considered one of the most active members of 600 and was known to drill with all the different sets he was allied with, including THF, TYMB, and O-Block. It's rumored that D-Rose became active in the streets after the murder of a Front Street member named Baldy. Baldy was killed on July 17, 2011, while walking with a friend down the 600 block of South Prairie Avenue. While they were walking, a van pulled up and started letting off shots. Baldy was shot in the head and his friend was shot in the ankle. They were both brought to Mount Sinai Hospital, where Baldy would eventually pass away at just 19 years old. Baldy was a well-loved member of 600, and after he died, the set also started going by the name Baldy World. Baldy and D-Rose were close, so after he was killed, D-Rose went crazy in the streets. Baldy's killer was never caught, and the hit was credited to a GD set called MOB. MOB was allied with STL EBT, the set known to be for O-Block, and many believe that they were involved in the hit as well. On December 3rd, 2011, an STL EBT affiliate named Dale Fisher was killed while walking home with a friend. Dale was only 16 at the time, and many have claimed that he wasn't actually affiliated with the gang. He just grew up in the area and was cool with some of the members. But that didn't matter to the ops, and on the night of December 3rd, two gunmen would approach him in a silver vehicle while he was driving down the 6200 block of South St. Lawrence. He would start letting off shots, and Dale would be hit in the chest. He later passed away from his injuries.
The crazy part is, to this day, right, there's guys just like Dale who basically aren't affiliated. They're affiliated with certain guys, but they don't got no dealings in the streets. They never unalived nobody. They never did anything to threaten nobody. But the problem is, they're in pictures, they're in videos, and they're seen throwing up gang signs. But you got to remember, these are kids. They're just doing what they see their friends doing, not knowing potentially that these gang signs mean F somebody's deceased homeboy or relative. But we're just doing it because we see, our friends doing it. But the problem is, them same people, they get sucked into the streets, and next thing you know, they lose their life over something they really had no dealings in. And to this day, that still happened. To this day, guys are losing their lives because they just wanted to be in a video. They didn't even know that he was dissing somebody. They just seen somebody shooting a video on the block, got in the video. Next thing you know, the ops spin their block, see them, take them out, and boom, an innocent life taken for just being in pictures or video.
Rumor that D-Rose was the one who took out Dale from STL EBT. Only a few months before that, both Tuka and Odie Perry had been killed, starting the war between O-Block 600 and STL EBT. So Dale was just another body dropped in one of the deadliest wars in the history of Chiraq. By that time, D-Rose was gaining a reputation as one of the deadliest shooters in Chicago. The Chicago drill movement was starting to take off, and BD rappers like Chief Keef and Rondo No. 9 would start name dropping D-Rose in songs, only to help build his clout in the city. But D-Rose wasn't only feared by the ops, he was also a major target of the Chicago police, who were eager to lock him up the minute he was caught slipping. At the time, 600 was beefing with another gang called 051 Money Gang. 051 had already killed several well-respected members of 600, and they were looking for revenge. On June 22nd, 2012, a 14-year-old member of 051 named Fats or Fathead was killed while walking home with his cousin from a corner store. As they were walking, they noticed a van drive by them and slowed down as it passed. They didn't make anything of it, but moments later, the van circled back and started letting off shots. The cousin managed to escape, but Fats was hit and fell to the ground. As his cousin turned back to see what happened, she witnessed the killer get out of the car and open fire on Fats again to make sure he was dead. Fats' death has been credited to C-Day, and D-Rose is rumored to have been the one driving the car. D-Rose would continue terrorizing his ops, and only a few months later, he would allegedly catch another body. 600 was also beefing with a GD.
Now pay attention, right? This is like the second or third. I think second. But this is like the second body that D-Rose's name was wrapped in, claiming to be involved in when it comes to, body dropping. That's going to be important later.
GD set called Brick Squad. Their biggest op from Brick Squad was a rapper named Lil Jojo, who had recently dropped a diss track called BDK, where he took shots at the entire Black Disciple gang. To make matters worse, Lil Jojo tried to troll Lil Reese by driving past him swearing a bunch and calling him a and then posted a video of it online.
Hey, Ricky Low. Yeah. What's wrong with you? Hey, I am Brick Squad. Yeah, Brick Squad, boy. What you talking about, boy? We get up.
He and Lil Reese started going back and forth on Twitter, dissing each other and making threats. Lil Jojo would eventually drop his location, tweeting, "I'm on hashtag 069, I'm out here." That would prove to be a big mistake, and just a few hours later, Lil Jojo would be shot and killed while riding his bike near 69th Street and Princeton Ave. Chief Keef.
The craziest part, he said he was on 069 and he really was on 069. I don't know if maybe he thought that, you know, being tough on social media at the time, that they wasn't going to pull up and he was just saying things to say it, trying to look cool, but he really dropped his own location and lost his life. That got to be one of the most backwards things to do of the drill culture. To this day, he's probably the first and only, well, he's definitely the first that I know that dropped their own location and lost their life literally hours after.
Keef would go on to tweet, "It's sad because that Jojo wanted to be just like us. Hashtag laugh my ass off," leading many to believe that Kiefer Reese had something to do with his death. But the word on the street is that the actual killer was none other than D-Rose. D-Rose was allegedly with a group of BDs, including Poo Poo, Kiki, and J Money, when they caught Jojo riding on his bike and took him out. Many believe that D-Rose was also the one who pulled the trigger. D-Rose would go on to diss Lil Jojo several times on social media after his death, supporting the rumors that he was the killer.
Duggo. Junebug. Jojo.
He would spend all of 2013 behind bars, but will be back out on the streets in 2014. By this time, Chicago drill had absolutely exploded, and Chief Keef was going viral. But the streets of Chicago were hotter than ever, and the war between the BDs and GDs had only gotten worse. After getting out of jail, D-Rose would go right back to drilling and would catch another body by the end of the year. While D-Rose was locked up, the beef between O Block 600 and 051 had only gotten more intense. In March 2014, a rapper named Lil Mark, who was associated with 051 Young Money, dropped a remix to the Lil Durk song, Competition, called No Competition, where he took shots at OTF, 600, Lamron, O Block, and a bunch of other BD sets. Just a few days later, Lil Mark was killed while standing at a bus stop, and it's been rumored that D-Rose was the shooter. But just a few months after that, it would be...
Now, keep in mind, y'all, that's 4 bodies so far, right? I could be off, but so far we calculated 4 bodies that he's been responsible for allegedly, or at least affiliated where his name has came up, and he hasn't been convicted or caught for it, right? Pay attention.
All over for D-Rose. He was arrested for the murder of 14-year-old Venzel Richardson. Venzel also went by the name Big V and was affiliated with the GD set Taekwon World. Taekwon World is allied with STL EBT, and they were part of the beef between them and O Block 600. Big V and his homies left a convenience store near 61st and King Drive on the night of February 12, 2014, when a minivan pulled up alongside him and started letting off shots. Big V was shot 4 times in the back of the head and later died from his injuries. By that point, the Chicago police wanted D-Rose off the streets after they failed to get him for the Lil Mark murder. They received information that he was involved in the Big V hit, and he was arrested about 6 weeks later. A witness identified him in a photo lineup, and he was officially charged with the murder. After spending several years fighting the case, D-Rose was found guilty of first-degree murder in 2016 and sentenced to 40 years in prison. But even with all the work D-Rose put in the streets, many believe that he's actually innocent of the murder of Big V. After his sentencing, 600 Breezy posted a photo of the news story on IG along with the caption, "He didn't even do this. He wasn't even there. 100. I hate the system. Free my brothers. It's foul."
Now, for y'all that don't know, right? There's a lot of people that say that he wasn't even on the scene when this happened. And like I said before, we all know that when the police want you because they feel that you keep escaping, they're going to use anything in their power to get you. And in this case, they're using somebody, and to this day, we don't know who. But they say they're using somebody who pointed him out in a photo lineup and said that he was there. But if he really wasn't there and everybody else knows that he wasn't there, what proof do they have that he was the guy that actually pulled the trigger? And the crazy part, they don't got no surveillance. They don't have any DNA, fingerprints, nothing that could actually point him to the scene, except for somebody pointing him out. And the crazy part is they don't have to prove themselves. It's just, yeah, I seen them and that's that. To this day, they only have that one person as evidence saying that they seen him and him alone on that scene. Crazy.
He an innocent man. They doing it because of his street name. Although the big V hit has been credited to 600 Front Street, many believe that it wasn't actually D Rose who pulled the trigger. But at that point, the Chicago police wanted him off the streets for good, even if that meant framing him for a murder. The saddest part about the D Rose story is that after he got locked up, he claims he was abandoned by all his old friends, some who were millionaires at that point. Not long after D Rose got locked up, Team 600 started to fall apart. L.A. Capone was killed in 2013, and then C-Day and Rondo No. 9 were also both sentenced to over 40 years in prison around the same time as D Rose. The other BDs who made it out of the streets, like Chief Keef and Lil Durk, had already left the city to focus on their music. So, while they were touring the world and becoming millionaires, D Rose was left to rot in jail, even though he was the main shooter in the gang who helped the BDs earn the respect they had all across the city.
See how that works? Right? See how that worked? The man that was putting in the most work got the worst end of the stick. For what? At the end of the day, how many times do you think he sat in that cell and asked himself, for what? Right? Millionaire friends. He did a DJU interview and he said certain people, right, who are millionaires or who got the money can possibly help him, but they never did. And one of the reasons would be that if you got a good enough lawyer, possibly, I'm not sure because I know it's going to be a lot of money, being that it's a lot of bodies and things involved. But at the end of the day, if they don't have zero evidence at all, I'm pretty sure there's a possibility for overturn. But he said nobody helped him.
In the interview D Rose did from jail, he dissed Chief Keef and Lil Durk and claimed they abandoned him after he got locked up. He said that his bond was only $100K, meaning he could have gotten out of jail, which is $10K. But no one came for him, and he had to sit in jail for 3 years before being sentenced. By that point, Chief Keef had already been featured on a Kanye record and could have easily given him the money, but for whatever reason, he never came through. He said that the only person he's still cool with was Tay 600, which came as a shock to many. Tay 600 was kicked out of Team 600 after rumors surfaced that he snitched on C-Day and Rondo in their murder case. People like E-Day and 600 Breezy claimed to have seen paperwork proving that he snitched, but Tay maintained his innocence. He cleared his name a few years back after court paperwork proved that he didn't snitch.
Yeah, like it was a fake statement floating around, and it said in the statement, I, Jamonte D. Carpenter, have seen Rondo and C-Day shoot the person 5 times, you know, and the statement was so fake because if you read the statement, for one, court document's not gonna say Rondo and C-Day, it's gonna say Courtney and Clint, and then like the dates on the fake statement was all type of f***ed up. The addresses was f***ed up.
But by that point, a lot of damage had already been done to his reputation. According to D Rose, Tay was one of the only ones who called and checked up on him regularly. In the end, D Rose actually lived the life that most drill rappers talk about in their music. Even though he did a lot of dirt in the streets, he was only 17 years old when he was arrested and didn't know anything else but the streets of chiraq. His story should be a lesson to anyone who's really about that life. There's only 2 outcomes, death or jail, and just because the streets love you when you're on top, doesn't mean they're gonna be there when you're at the bottom. D Rose filed an appeal, but it was shot down in 2019. As of right now, his projected release date is in 2057. If he's truly innocent, hopefully, one day, justice will be served and he'll get a second chance at life. But when you live that street lifestyle, you gotta be prepared for what comes with it, even if it means spending the rest of your life behind bars.
Now, I think at the end of the day, we all know why that appeal was shot down. And this is why I said keep calculation of the bodies that he was accused of being involved in. Because that's where it really come from. The fact that a lot of times the police probably felt that he was involved in those bodies, but they just couldn't get him for it because they didn't have enough evidence. When they finally got a little piece of something, it could have been the smallest thing. The fact that they got something was all they needed. And 9 times out of 10, the reason why he's sitting in jail right now is for all the other bodies that they felt he had some involvement in, but they couldn't prove it. And this is exactly why I feel he's sitting in the cell to this day. No appeal, no nothing, which is crazy. But y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. This is definitely a situation that occurs a lot where guys, whether they get caught for something, as long as they're a hindrance to law enforcement and they feel that they got them on something, they're gonna use anything to get them. And as you can see, you could be spending 40 years of your life in jail just off of one person pointing you out. No other evidence, no other details, just one person saying that you was on the scene, whether you was really there or not. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as As long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. I'm out. Are you tired of a bunch of social media gurus promising you results with their course, but all they do is take a bunch of information off YouTube and Google, then sell it to you? Well, look no further. Our YouTube Tips and Tricks Masterclass course comes equipped with SEO tips and tricks, along with methods we use to growth hack our YouTube channel. It also includes step-by-step ways to publish a video before uploading to guarantee a great SEO score, therefore your videos can rank and be shown to a bigger audience. Views and subscribers don't come by luck, and just how YouTube have an algorithm, you should have one as well that can guarantee you results. We doing websites and softwares we personally use to generate money creating faceless YouTube channels. If you also would like to skip the process and just buy other pre-built accounts, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, we also threw that in there for you too. We went through trial and error, so you don't have to. Click the link in the description or the comments and get started today.